Good morning, Archie here from the residence of Paul Warwick, our Director of Strategy. Paul is a dear friend and a mentor, professionally and in personal life. At Salveo Home Care, we do what we do best is because we have surrounded ourselves with people who are smarter, way more intelligent, and way more experienced than we are. Because I believe that to run an organization in the aged care space, you can't do it yourself. You have to do it with like-minded individuals, regardless of the age group. If we can all bring ourselves into one page, then we can move forward quicker with agility, with efficiency. And that's where Paul, myself, and our other professionals, we do our best work.
Hi Archie, thanks for that very gracious introduction and welcome into our home. Hi everybody, as Archie said, I'm Paul Warwick. I'm the Director of Strategic Development with Salveo Care. I've been working in aged care and community work now for over 40 years and bring a lot of experience, I hope, to the organisation as we're going forward into our journey into aged care. I'm also an elder Australian and I've also lived a very full life and a very busy life, but I'm finding as I get older that I can't do things the way that I used to. And what I'm starting to find is that I need some actual help to do that. And I've come to that time in my life where I've got to start thinking about these things. And for me, it's very important to be able to live the life that I choose, to live and be able to do the things that I want to do that are important to me in my life. And as I said, it's coming to that point where I might need some help to do that going forward. One of the things we find is that as older Australians, it's a fact in our lives that as we age, we start to need help with things that are important to us. And as we need that help, we tend to rely on our families to do that. Our lives these days are very busy, and our families also have very busy lives with their work, their children, and it can create an additional pressure in their lives if they need to take time out to care for their elders, particularly as they become aged and more infirm. So it's really important as you go forward to start looking for help. It doesn't hurt to admit that we need help. And sadly, as elders, we don't normally go and seek that help unless there's a major event in our life, such as serious illness, perhaps a fall, a serious accident. That creates a need for often extra care, puts pressure on families, and but can also increase the need for care that you might not have needed if you had have taken some steps in an earlier point. And for me, my message to you today is that if you want to continue to live and be independent and stay in your home, why not start looking at what's important to you right now and looking at what help you're going to need to be able to maintain that and who is going to be able to provide that support to you. And that might be your family, it might be your friends, it might be your local community, but it also might need to be with established help from government-funded agencies that provide support in the aged care space.
The reason why we are doing this interview and podcast today is because we as an organization believe that more and more Australians should take up aged care at home care because it allows you to age at home, surrounded by love within the community that help build. It is a fantastic funding program that allows the families to stick together, live within the same walls that they helped build over the years. This is where the memory is being built. Paul, how long have you been living in this home?
We've been living in this home now for 30 years.
So the girls grew up in this home?
Yeah, our family grew up in this home. Yeah. This has been our haven, and this is where we want to spend the rest of our living days.
And this is how important it is. And I know if Paul is saying that there's a lot of people like Paul is in the same situation, there's a lot of us and a lot of you like myself who has parents like Paul, and this is the home where you grew up. This is where your stories were written, and this is where you and I, we both want to be coming, because this is what we call home. Home is built with the people. So, and it has memories. These four walls have memories, have pictures. It is not a different world. This is your world. This is where your first step was taken. This is where lots of key and foundation memories were built. Is that correct, Paul?
That's absolutely right. Our lives are is shaped by what's happened in our past and what affects us. And they are still very important to us even as we age. Our memories are critical. And to be able to hold those dear to us, to be able to hold those close to us, and be able to have them round them is really important, Archie. And for a family as close as mine, it sustains us in many ways, and even when times are bad. So to have that around just helps you maintain that quality of life and that independence that is really important to you. So now's a good time to look at what's important to you and the support that you need to be able to live longer and to be able to live at home as long as possible. It's a positive time to be looking at support in aged care if you need it. There are a lot of changes coming through the government at the moment to make aged care more relevant to people's needs and more relevant to those needs in their homes. And the next 2 years is going to be a lot of positive change happening in that space. And my advice to you is that right now, if you need some care, have a think about what that actually means for you and start getting the ball rolling. Talk to your families, talk to your carers, talk to your friends, talk to people in your local communities, but also talk to the agencies and organisations that are out there that can help you and give you the right advice and give you the direction in which way you want to go.
Information is key. In our world, information is key. In aged care, oftentimes we have found, we both know that if we are not from the aged care industry, it could be an information jungle. Would you say that that is the right terminology? Like, it's a lot of information, overwhelming amount of information.
Yep, I'd absolutely agree with that. And there's a lot of information out there that can tell you what service you can have, when you can have it, all of those types of things, and that's great, but is it what you really need, and is it really meet your goals and the things you want to achieve going forward in your life? So it's really important that you look into that information, find out what's out there, and then start putting in place what you want that you think you will need going forward as you progress in your life stages.
I know, Paul, being in the industry long enough and working with you and starting my career with you a long time ago, and now that we work together, is that oftentimes industry has a lot of negative connotation. I always say that we wake up and work towards hope. Would you say that the same thing for yourself? That the hope is coming, hope it is going to be a better day in the next day and the coming future?
I think there's a couple of things there. I think firstly, we generally, as a people, don't like change. We get used to what we have in our lives.
Yeah.
We adapt to it.
Yeah.
But is it what we really need?
Yeah.
And one of the things that's happening at the moment, there's a lot of stuff going on out there about the changes that are occurring in aged care. There's a lot of information. There's also a lot of misinformation. If you want to be truly informed and make decisions about what care you need and what's important to you and is it relevant for you, you need to get that information. My advice to everybody is to start looking at that, and there are plenty of options that you can to go forward with that.
So now that a lot of positive reforms are coming, there's a major reform coming. It is a once in a generation reform. That's how it's been portrayed in the industry. The new support at home is due to come in July 1st, 2025. Now, I know there's a lot of speculative information out there, which we always say stay away from. I know that you have worked a lot with policies and been watching the government space for quite a long time, Paul. What's the message that you have for those who are now starting their care journey and they're 65 and above? What would you tell them? What would be a key message to them?
The message is quite simply this, is that the government are working extremely hard to ensure that all people who need care get the care that they need to be able to live better and live longer. There is also a huge focus in terms of policy of allowing people to stay at their homes and maintain their independence in their homes for as long as possible. Even to the point where if it's your life's choice that you wish to pass in your own home, that may be possible going forward into the future. And the support at home reforms that are coming in on the 1st of July next year are aiming to do exactly that. So it gives you greater choice in terms of the services that you can have for as long as you need those services, for as long as you are able to stay in your home. And it's really critical right now to start looking at what those services are going to look like and start weighing up for yourself what you might need going forward. Okay, so we've given you a fair bit to think about already, but where do you actually go to find that information? That's the critical piece of the next step. As I said, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family, you can talk to people in your local community, but also have a look at the more formal places where you can go to seek information. And the first place I would direct everybody to go is to the My Aged Care website at myagedcare.com.au. That sets out all the services that are available in aged care, the providers who can deliver those services for you, and the locations where they operate. So that's got to be your first port of call to gather that information. Of course, there's plenty of other places that you can go. We as a team are always available to speak to people about their aged care journey, and if people wish to have those discussions, they could give us a call on 1800 725 836, and our team of qualified care advisors would be more than happy to speak with you and give you some advice and information on what you need to do. If you want to enter the aged care sector and start getting the ball rolling, obviously you can go in and register through the My Aged Care website. On that portal there is a space to be able to do that. If you want some tips to do that, you can also check out Archie's recent LinkedIn tutorial on how to access My Aged Care and follow the tips and guides that are actually in that tutorial and go forward from there. It's short, easy to listen to, and would be valuable to anybody who's interested.
We got a spatula from the kitchen so that we can capture the voice better. So me and Paul, we were chatting that what are the concerns that we generally get while we are interviewing any clients. We are receiving a lot of inquiries from our website, and based on that, we're going to touch on that topic. I think it is quite an important topic.
Absolutely.
Paul?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are concerned about entering aged care at the first time. They've lived a long life, they've been very independent, they've managed to do a lot of things, but when you start to need care, it starts to create some concerns and self-doubt in yourself. And sometimes a lot of the reasons for that is that many of our elders in our community, there's a range of reasons why they don't want to go down that path. Firstly, they don't want to make a fuss. They feel they're all right, they can get by with what they're doing at the moment, and they'll be okay. Secondly, they don't want to feel like they're a burden on their community and their families, so they don't seek help and they wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
Not always a good thing, but that is a very common feeling out there in the community. The other thing that's the case is that many of our elders in our community don't know that they can actually get help until something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And whilst they might need help now, they don't think about it because they don't know. And that's a really common thread of people who find themselves entering aged care after a major event, that they didn't know they could get help in the first place. And if they went and got the help in the first place, they might not have found themselves in a situation which is worse now than what it was. The other thing that is an issue for people who are ageing is that they're worried about paying high fees. As you age and you're on limited incomes, there is a concern about the level of fees you might have to pay and contribute to your cost of care. And this creates a worry for them because they're concerned about the future of their families as well, and they are really concerned about, one, making sure they leave a legacy for their families, but also not draining that to the point where everything is gone and there is nothing left. But I think it's really important that people need to realise is that there is help there if you need it, and that help takes into account your financial capacity. So your situation would be looked at, and the best way to actually work that out is to get help and find it and get advice. And there's a couple of ways that you can do that. If you have a concern about any of these issues, talk to My Aged Care. You can speak to an advisor. You can obviously talk to the team at Salveo Home Care. We'd be more than happy to take you through that and give you some indication as to what care might look like for you going forward into the future. And you can also talk to any other aged care provider who you're aware of, that you might trust, who you might want to speak to also. But check out those concerns. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Help is there if you need it. And it's really important that if you want to stay at home for as long as possible, that you go down that path.
And I totally agree with Paul here. The spatula is working really well as our podcast microphone. Now, the reason why we are so passionate about this particular episode and information, to get the information out there in front of everyone, is because not enough of us are talking about it and putting it out there. Because I know as a 30-40-year-olds, those who are out there and you are kind of thinking in the back of your head, I know for a fact you're thinking about your folks, that they are getting older and what are our options. the options are all there, the information is all there. And even if you're a 65-year-old and above and you're watching this, like Paul said, help is here, and don't wait too long till the last minute, because the current wait time will push things over the edge and you're just going to wait longer. I always encourage everyone to start now, start the care journey now, then later. Hope is something that wakes us up every single day. In this organization, we wake up and we work harder every single day to ensure that more of this information are out there in public. Australia is aging, that's the honest truth. So we can have more people jump into aged care of home care and live a really independent and life full of quality.
Absolutely, Archie. And I think there's a couple of messages that I want to reinforce out of that. And I think the first most important message that I have for you is that we are living longer and we are living better. And we're going to be around for a long time. We're not done with yet. And there's still plenty we want to do as elders, and we want to continue to do that. But the other thing that's equally important as well is to those people who might assume the role of carers as decline starts to come upon us. And that is going to come at some point in our lives, and we are going to need that higher level of care. But you've got to find a balance in that care. And just because your parents might be all right, doesn't necessarily mean that you as a carer are all right, given the pressures that you have in your daily life, your work life, your family life, just the general pressures of living our day-to-day lives. We are busy, and our carers and our families are busy, and we need to find a balance in that. And that balance can be often found in finding extra support that takes pressure off your mum, your dad, but also takes pressure off you knowing that care is being managed by professional, well-trained staff who have your family's best interests at heart at all times. So don't be afraid to ask questions, whether you're an elder or whether you're a carer. Now's the time to find out that information and work out what's best for you and get it done now.
Thank you all for watching this episode. This is the very first podcast style that we have done at Salveo Home Care, and if you find it beneficial, we're going to keep producing this content for those who are out there looking for information. Our goal as an organization is to not only provide care for those who are in need, but also putting as much information as we can to encourage all the older Australians or aging Australians to get into aged care of home care and get this fantastic funding program that's provided by the government. We are probably one of the luckiest countries out there that provides and supports the community in this way. We pay taxes all our lives, and this is how the government and the country is looking after its citizens, and it is a fantastic, and it is something envious to the entire world, not everywhere. I know for a fact that my folks don't even get this, so I know how much more it means to the entire society and the community that we are living in and we are breathing in. So we are here to assist and help with everyone with their care journey, and also encourage everyone to jump into this aged care of home care. Really important as we age, including myself, 24 years time. So thank you for watching, and please like, share and comment. Someone in your network may find this beneficial. Cheers.